My grandmother, Aurora, was always an open book. Or so I thought. Her blue eyes sparkled like a summer sky on a cloudless day, radiating warmth and wisdom that could comfort any soul. Her hugs were like a healing balm, capable of soothing even the deepest of pains. I grew up under her wing, listening to tales of love, loss, and laughter, her voice a gentle melody that wove itself into the fabric of my being. But little did I know there was a chapter of her life she kept hidden, tucked away like a precious secret. A secret that would change everything I thought I knew about her, about our family, and about the very essence of love and sacrifice. It was after she passed on, leaving behind a legacy of memories and a void that seemed impossible to fill. I was going through her belongings trying to make sense of the life she lived, when I stumbled upon an old wooden box. It was hidden away in a corner of her attic, covered in dust and cobwebs, as if time itself had forgotten about it. The box was worn, its surface bearing the scars of years gone by. I opened it and inside I found a diary. The cover was made of worn leather, its pages yellowed with age, emitting a faint scent of lavender and forgotten memories. As I held the diary in my hands, a shiver ran down my spine. There was something about it that felt sacred, something that whispered secrets of the past. I gently opened the cover, and the words on the first page danced before my eyes, revealing a world I had never known existed. It was as if Aurora had left me a message, a key to unlock the mysteries of her life. And in that moment I knew that my perception of her, of our family, and of our history would never be the same. The story that unfolds is one of love, of sacrifice, and of hidden legacies. It's a tale that spans generations, weaving together threads of forbidden love, lost treasures, and the enduring power of the human spirit. As I share this story with you, I invite you to walk with me through the shadows of the past, into the light of understanding, and into the depths of the human heart. For in the pages of Aurora's diary, I discovered a world of complexity, of beauty, and of profound wisdom. A world that I will now share with you, in the hope that it may illuminate your own path, as it has mine. In the late 1930s, nestled in the heart of rural America, lay the small town of Willow Creek, a place where time seemed to stand still, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the sky was a brilliant blue that seemed to stretch on forever. It was a community where everyone knew each other's names, and life unfolded with the gentle rhythm of nature. In this serene setting, a young Aurora grew up, surrounded by the loving chaos of her family. Her parents, hardworking and kind, tilled the land with care, coaxing life from the earth. Thomas, her older brother, was a dreamer, with a passion for flying that shone bright in his eyes. And then there was Lily, her younger sister, who saw the world through the lens of poetry, her imagination as vivid as the colors of the rainbow. Aurora, with her curious heart and love for reading, often found herself lost in the pages of dusty old books. Her imagination would soar, painting pictures of far-off lands and adventures yet to be had. Despite the simplicity of her life in Willow Creek, Aurora felt an unquenchable thirst for something more, a yearning that whispered softly in her heart, like the gentle lapping of waves against the shore. The days in Willow Creek were dictated by the sun and the seasons. Mornings began early, with the family heading out to tend to their fields. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of fresh earth and growing crops. School days were filled with laughter and learning, the sound of children's voices carrying on the wind. And nights, oh, the nights were a magical canvas of stars, a twinkling display that seemed to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen. In the quiet moments, as Aurora helped her mother with the household chores or sat by the window, staring out at the vast expanse of fields and forests, she felt a stirring within her. It was as if she was being called to something, though she couldn't quite put her finger on what it was. This subtle restlessness, this sense of discontent with the status quo, marked the beginning of a journey that would take her far beyond the familiar boundaries of Willow Creek. As the seasons passed, and the world beyond their little town began to stir with the rumblings of change, Aurora couldn't shake the feeling that her life, too, was on the cusp of transformation. Little did she know, the peaceful shores of Willow Creek were about to be touched by the waves of history, and her own path would soon become entwined with the tides of time. As the summer of 1939 waned, the warmth of the sun began to share the sky with a sense of unease. News of European tensions trickled into Willow Creek, at first like a gentle stream meandering into the town's quiet life. The radio, once a source of entertainment with shows like The Shadow and Amos and Andy, now carried somber broadcasts about Nazi Germany and the impending war. My grandfather, a simple man with a robust heart, would listen intently, his brow furrowed in concern. My grandmother Aurora's parents worried about their livelihood, their farm, and their children's future. Thomas, Aurora's brother, however, saw the war as an adventure waiting to happen, an opportunity to see the world beyond Willow Creek's borders. Aurora, caught between her dreams and the dawning reality, began to question the world's justice. She had always believed in the goodness of people, in the peace that filled her town. But now, as she walked through the fields, feeling the wind in her hair and the sun on her face, she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. The crickets still chirped their evening song, but it seemed to clash with the anxiety growing inside her. It was on one of these walks, lost in thought, that Aurora first saw him, a young man in a military uniform, standing by the old oak tree at the edge of town. There was something about him that seemed out of place, a quiet confidence that set him apart from the other local boys. Their eyes met, and for a moment time stood still. Aurora felt a spark, a sense of connection she couldn't explain. The young man, Elias, introduced himself with a smile that seemed to hold 1,000 stories. As they talked, Aurora found herself drawn to his kind eyes, his thoughtful words. But there was something he didn't say, something hidden behind his gaze. She sensed it, a feeling that Elias was running from something or someone. As the days passed, Aurora and Elias grew closer, their conversations flowing like the creek that ran through the town. But with each passing day, the world around them seemed to grow darker. The news from Europe worsened, and the people of Willow Creek began to feel the shadow of war looming over them. Aurora's parents grew more concerned, her brother Thomas more restless, and Elias seemed to carry a secret, a burden he couldn't share. Yet, despite the danger, despite the uncertainty, Aurora found herself falling for Elias, for the kindness in his eyes, for the sense of adventure he represented. Little did she know, their love would soon be tested by the brutal realities of war, by secrets and lies, by the very fabric of the world around them. The peaceful life of Willow Creek was about to change forever, and Aurora's journey, her hidden diary, was just beginning. As the summer of 1939 wore on, the warmth of the sun-kissed days began to wane, and the nights grew cooler, carrying the whispers of a changing world. Aurora and Elias's secret meetings became more frequent, always under the guise of chance encounters or errands. Yet the thrill of being together, even if fleeting, brought a sense of solace and hope to both their hearts. Their love blossomed quietly, like a wildflower pushing through the cracks of a stone path. Stolen glances, brief touches, and whispered words became the language of their affection. The sunflower field, with its towering blooms and soft rustling, became their sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still. Elias's eyes, a deep shade of blue that seemed to hold a world of sorrow, would lock onto Aurora's, and she felt seen, truly understood. In those moments, the war, with all its darkness and uncertainty, receded, and all that mattered was the gentle breeze, the warmth of the sun, and the love growing between them. But Elias carried a secret, one that weighed heavily on his heart. One evening, as they sat together on the edge of the old barn, watching the stars begin to twinkle, he took Aurora's hand and revealed the truth. He was not who she thought he was. He was a German scientist, a deserter, driven by a conscience that could no longer bear the atrocities committed by his country. Aurora listened, her heart pounding, as Elias spoke of an artifact, a powerful encryption device that could change the course of the war. He had come to Willow Creek to find it, to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. The artifact, Elias explained, was hidden in a secret labyrinth beneath the old church, a labyrinth left by his mentor, a clockmaker who had been a beacon of hope in his darkest moments. As Elias spoke, Aurora felt the world around her shift. The peaceful life of Willow Creek was about to collide with the brutal reality of war. And she, once a passive observer, was now being drawn into the midst of it all. The days that followed were marked by an increasing sense of unease. Strangers appeared in town, their eyes cold, their smiles forced. They asked questions, seemingly innocuous, but Aurora sensed they were searching for something or someone. Elias, too, felt the noose tightening, the danger escalating with each passing day. The diary, once a confidant, now became a repository of her deepest fears and desires. Aurora wrote of her love for Elias, of the danger that loomed, and of the growing determination to protect him, to help him, no matter the cost. The words flowed onto the pages, a cathartic release of emotions that seemed to swell within her. One night, under the light of a full moon, Elias and Aurora made their way to the old church, their hearts heavy with anticipation. They descended into the labyrinth, the air thick with dust and the scent of age. The passageway twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the earth. And there, in the heart of the labyrinth, they found it, the artifact, a device of intricate beauty, its purpose both wondrous and terrifying. Elias's eyes met Aurora's, and in that moment, they knew their lives would never be the same. They had crossed a threshold, into a world of danger and uncertainty, but also into a deeper understanding of themselves and each other. The stakes had risen, and Aurora's transformation was complete. She was no longer just a young woman from Willow Creek. She was a participant, a partner in Elias's quest to prevent the artifact from falling into the wrong hands. Together they would face whatever lay ahead, their love a beacon of hope in the darkness. As they descended deeper into the labyrinth, the air grew thick with anticipation, every step echoing off the cold stone walls. Aurora's heart pounded in her chest, her hand instinctively reaching for Elias's, their fingers intertwining like the threads of a rope that bound them together. The beam of their flashlight danced across ancient carvings, casting eerie shadows that seemed to writhe on the walls. Suddenly, Elias stopped, his eyes fixed on a complex mechanism in the center of the room. "This must be it," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the sound of dripping water. Aurora's gaze followed his, and together, they began to work on the puzzle, their hands moving in tandem as they tried to decipher the cryptic clues left by the clockmaker. The silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the soft click of metal on metal as they worked. And then, with a satisfying crunch, the mechanism released, and a section of the wall slid open, revealing a small chamber within. Inside, nestled on a pedestal of black stone, lay the artifact, a device of breathtaking beauty, its surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. But their triumph was short-lived. The sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, echoed through the labyrinth, growing louder with each passing moment. Aurora's eyes met Elias's, a spark of fear igniting within them. They had been found. Nazi agents, their faces twisted with malice, emerged from the darkness, guns drawn. Elias pushed Aurora behind him, his eyes locked on the agents. "Go," he whispered, his voice firm. But Aurora refused to budge, her feet rooted to the spot as the agents closed in. The ensuing battle was chaotic, the labyrinth seeming to shrink around them as they fought for their lives. Aurora's knowledge of the passages proved invaluable, as she dodged and weaved, using her agility to evade the agents' clumsy attempts to capture her. Elias fought with a ferocity that bordered on madness, his eyes blazing with a determination that inspired Aurora to keep fighting. But despite their bravery, they were vastly outnumbered. Elias took a bullet to the shoulder, his face contorting in pain as he stumbled. Aurora rushed to his side, her heart racing with fear. "Elias, no," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. With a Herculean effort, Elias pushed her away. "Go, Aurora," he gasped, his voice weak but resolute. "Take the artifact. You must keep it safe." Aurora hesitated, torn between her love for Elias and her duty to protect the device. The agents closed in, their guns raised. Elias stood, his eyes locked on Aurora's, and in that moment, she saw a deep and abiding love. A love that transcended even death itself. With a final glance, Elias flung himself at the agents, a diversion that gave Aurora just enough time to grab the artifact and make a desperate dash for freedom. As she ran, the labyrinth seemed to blur around her, the sound of gunfire and screams fading into the distance. She stumbled, her heart heavy with grief, the weight of the artifact pressing against her chest like a physical manifestation of her sorrow. Elias was gone, sacrificed in the ultimate act of love, and she was left to carry on his legacy, the diary that would one day tell their story, a testament to the enduring power of their love. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the darkness seemed to swallow me whole. The rain-soaked night air clung to my skin like a damp shroud, and I shivered not just from the chill, but from the weight of what had just transpired. Elias, my love, my guiding star, was gone. The thought echoed through my mind like a scream, but I couldn't let it consume me. Not yet. I had to escape to get back home to safety. But safety felt like a distant dream now. Every step I took, every breath I made felt like a betrayal. My heart was shattered, my soul bruised. I couldn't help but wonder if I'd ever be whole again. The artifact, now a tangible connection to Elias, felt heavy in my hands, a constant reminder of the price he paid for me. I thought of his words, his laughter, his eyes, and I wept. The walk home was a blur. I remember little of it, except the sound of raindrops hitting the pavement, and the ache in my chest. When I finally reached my doorstep, I felt like a stranger in my own home. My family, concerned about my late return, greeted me with worried faces, but I couldn't bring myself to meet their gazes. I knew I had to keep up the facade for their sake, for mine. Elias's death would be an accident, a tragic, senseless loss. No one could ever know the truth. The days that followed were a haze of grief and deception. I went through the motions pretending that everything was fine, that I was fine. But I wasn't. I was drowning in my sorrow, isolated even from those I loved. My parents and siblings noticed the change in me, the distance, the distraction, but they couldn't fathom the depth of my pain. I couldn't share it with them. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The diary became my sole confidant, the keeper of my secrets, my tears, my fears. I poured my heart into its pages, writing about Elias, about us, about the artifact and the burden it now carried. It was my solace, my comfort, my guide. As I wrote, I began to find a sense of purpose, a resolve to honor Elias's memory, to fulfill his mission. I started to study the artifact, poring over Elias's notes, trying to understand its purpose. I spent hours in the local library, searching for clues, for any information that could help me decipher its mysteries. The artifact, once a symbol of power and destruction, now felt like a key to unlocking the secrets of Elias's legacy. I was determined to learn, to grow, to carry on his work. The sadness still lingered, a constant companion, but it was no longer suffocating. I was beginning to find my way, to forge a new path, one that would lead me to places unknown, but also to a sense of redemption, of purpose. I was ready to face whatever came next, armed with nothing but my love for Elias, my determination to honor him, and the artifact, a reminder of the sacrifice he made for me. Aurora's fingers trembled as she closed the diary, Elias's words still echoing in her mind. The pain of his loss had become a familiar ache, but it was a price she was willing to pay for the secret she now carried. Leaving Willow Creek behind, she sought anonymity in a larger city, hoping to blend into the crowd and continue her mission. In a modest apartment with walls adorned with maps and shelves stacked with books, Aurora immersed herself in her research. Libraries and archives became her sanctuaries, where she pored over documents, seeking any mention of the artifact. Elias's diary was her primary guide, and she studied it meticulously, searching for clues that might lead her to understand the device's true power. As she worked, Aurora's skills evolved. She learned to observe without being seen, to listen without being heard. In crowded streets, she practiced her ability to blend in, to become invisible. Her determination was fueled by Elias's memory and the weight of her promise to him. The artifact she discovered was more than a simple encryption device. It was a powerful tool for intelligence, capable of deciphering enemy codes and predicting strategic movements. Aurora's eyes widened as she grasped the magnitude of its power. She felt Elias's presence, as if he were guiding her, urging her on. With each passing day, Aurora's transformation became more pronounced. She developed a keen sense of discretion, always aware of her surroundings, anticipating potential threats. Her skills in counterintelligence grew, and she began to see the world through a different lens. Decoding messages, identifying patterns, and predicting outcomes became second nature to her. But with growth came solitude. Aurora's secret life took its toll, and she often found herself lost in thought, reliving memories of Elias. The pain of his loss still lingered, but it was no longer debilitating. Instead, it fueled her determination, reminding her of the importance of her mission. The Nazi threat, however, remained ever present. Agents continued to search for the artifact, and Aurora knew she had to be constantly vigilant. One misstep could mean capture or worse. She recalled a tense encounter at a train station, where she had spotted a suspicious individual, his eyes scanning the crowd with an intensity that made her skin crawl. She had blended into the crowd, her heart racing as he passed by, unaware of her presence. In the silence of her apartment, surrounded by the trappings of her research, Aurora steeled herself for the challenges ahead. She knew that her journey would be long, fraught with danger, but she was resolute. For Elias, for the artifact, and for the hope of a better future, she would press on. The weight of her secret was crushing at times, but she carried it with a sense of purpose, knowing that her actions could change the course of history. As the war finally drew to a close, Aurora felt a deep sense of relief wash over her. The artifact, once a burden, had become a powerful tool in the hands of the Allies. She had played a crucial role in transmitting intelligence, frustrating enemy plans, and contributing to strategic victories. The memories of those long nights in the secret office, her fingers flying across the radio keys, sending messages that would change the course of history, still lingered vividly in her mind. The quiet satisfaction of having fulfilled her mission brought a sense of peace to Aurora's heart. She had done everything she could to help bring about the end of the war, and now it was time to start anew. The thought of returning to Willow Creek, of reconnecting with the land and the people she loved, filled her with a sense of longing. As she settled into her new life, Aurora found solace in the simple things. She spent her days tending to a small garden, watching children play in the park, and sharing stories with her family. The artifact, now a cherished symbol of Elias and her past, was carefully stored in a beautiful music box. The soft melody it played brought back memories of their time together, but now it was a reminder of the peace and remembrance that had come to define her life. Years passed and Aurora grew into the wise, loving grandmother the narrator knew. Her past was a part of her, but it no longer defined her present struggles. She had lived a life of extraordinary experiences and profound sacrifices, but now she was free to simply be. The narrator, looking back, understood that Aurora's seemingly simple life had been built upon a foundation of courage, love, and resilience. As the narrator sat with Aurora in her cozy living room, surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, she realized that the diary had been more than just a record of her grandmother's past. It had been a testament to the enduring power of love, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always hope. And as she closed the diary, now a treasured family heirloom, the narrator felt a deep sense of gratitude for the wisdom, the love, and the legacy that Aurora had left behind. As I sit here surrounded by the familiar comforts of home, I find myself lost in the pages of Grandma Aurora's diary. It's been weeks since I stumbled upon it, hidden away in her old trunk, but the words still resonate deeply within me. This diary is more than just a historical record. It's a map to her soul, a window into the extraordinary life she lived and the sacrifices she made. I recall the countless stories she shared with me during my childhood, tales of fairies and heroes, of magic and bravery. At the time, I thought they were just figments of her imagination, meant to entertain and inspire. But now I realize they were metaphors for her own life, a heroic journey marked by love, loss, and resilience. The diary has redefined my perception of her, transforming her from a distant figure of authority and love into a multidimensional person, flawed and strong, just like me. Aurora's legacy isn't just about the artifact she found or the secrets she kept. It's about the silent strength she embodied, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and the unconditional love she offered to everyone around her. Her life was a tapestry of experiences, woven with threads of joy and sorrow, courage and fear. And it's in this complexity that I find beauty, a reminder that life is precious, fleeting, and multifaceted. As I reflect on her story, I see parallels between her struggles and triumphs and my own life. The challenges she faced, the choices she made, and the lessons she learned all resonate within me, guiding me through my own journey. Her experiences have become a source of inspiration, a reminder that I, too, can find the strength to overcome obstacles and make a difference. Reading her diary has been an emotional catharsis, a journey of understanding and peace. It's as if I've finally found a piece of myself, a piece that was hidden, waiting to be discovered. The diary has become a personal treasure, a guide that reminds me of the power of love, sacrifice, and resilience. Aurora's story teaches me that our lives are interconnected, that the stories we tell and the legacies we leave behind have the power to inspire and transform others. It's a universal message, one that I hope to carry forward, to share with others, and to inspire them to discover their own hidden stories. As I close this diary, I feel a sense of gratitude and awe, knowing that I've been given a precious gift, a glimpse into the life of an extraordinary woman, and a reminder of the enduring power of love and legacy. As we close the chapter on Grandma Aurora's remarkable journey, we're reminded that life is a tapestry woven with threads of courage, love, and resilience. Her story, a testament to the human spirit, shows us that even in the darkest times, there's always hope, and that the power of love and sacrifice can change the course of history. Through her eyes, we've witnessed the transformative impact of unexpected discoveries and the enduring legacy of hidden truths. If Aurora's story has resonated with you, then its purpose has been fulfilled. This tale continues through us, through our own experiences, and through the connections we make with one another. As we reflect on the lessons learned from Aurora's life, we're invited to ponder our own stories, to cherish the memories we hold dear, and to find strength in the face of adversity. Now, as we bring this chapter to a close, we'd love to hear from you. Please take a moment to share your thoughts with us. What secret do you think Grandma Aurora held dearest to her heart? Your insights and reflections will help keep her story alive, inspiring others to find courage, love, and resilience in their own lives. Before you go, we'd be grateful if you could hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more stories that touch the heart, and share this journey with friends and family who might find solace and inspiration in Aurora's tale. Your engagement will help us continue to craft stories that uplift, motivate, and remind us of the power of the human spirit. As the music fades and the curtain closes on this chapter, we leave you with a sense of hope, a sense of connection, and the knowledge that Grandma Aurora's story will live on, inspiring us all to face life's challenges with courage, love, and resilience.